All right, Angry Bears fan pockets was now episode 40
Yes,
on
the
the
big
heel
four
of
zero.
Monday night on the heels of another. I don't know if embarrassing. I don't know the word to describe the loss.
Oh, it was
Um,
definitely embarrassing. It's definitely funny though that this is episode 40, and I feel like after watching the game, I just had a colonoscopy because
mm,
literally that was the most painful loss I have seen in a long time. And if the reason why I'm wearing my hood is because I could not find a brown paper bag to put over my head today. Because right now I am ashamed. I am ashamed, sir. Um, again, bad play calling. Justin, um, very, tentative throwing the football.
lackluster. I mean,
He's getting a lot of well-deserved heat.
yeah,
A lot of it has to do with coaching. A lot of it has to do with Justin just being gun shy and not making the reads. He's a one-read quarterback. He cannot read defenses post snap, and it's very frustrating. It's this vicious circle we find ourselves in as Bears fans. I was reading a thing on Twitter. Is much Justin Fields. I'm not comparing these two players. Justin Fields has more talent than Mitch Trubisky did, but through his first 27 starts, Mitchell Trubisky's numbers were a lot better.
passing the ball if you take away the running, if you take out the running.
34 total touchdowns, less turnovers, a better quarterback rating, everything,
He's just on a better
every
team though too.
statistic,
He's just on a better team.
not offensively.
Yeah, I'd say he was. Allen Robinson's better than DJ Moore
No, he's not.
in his career.
Stop. Stop.
In his career? Let's see.
Stop. Stop it.
Let's see.
That's
Allen
oh man.
Robinson. Not right now. I'm saying like when we had Allen Robinson.
DJ Moore is a better player right now than Allen Robinson
No.
was. Go, yes, he was. 100%. We got Allen Robinson off of a torn ACL, coming back from a torn ACL.
2019 on the Bears, 98 catches, 1,200 yards. 2020 on the Bears, 102 catches, 1,300 yards, six touchdowns, 6 and 7 touchdowns.
Mhm.
That's better. That's better than DJ Moore's best season.
You put DJ Moore in that offense, it's the
Maybe
same
I'm.
number.
I won't say that. Maybe he'll get the same, but I'll just say then they're washed then, and then the rest. Damn. Go forward. Oh, he's gone.
The problem I have with this team right now, the list is too long. We wanted to
Yeah.
make this a short video. It's not, it can't be a short video if we list everything that was wrong. Give me your three biggest takeaways for week two.
Um. Definitely the defensive play calling one on third down and long. I think we were calling a great game on first and second down. We're getting in very favorable third down situations, and we gave up like 80% to Baker. It was unacceptable. I mean, if we get it down to like 50%, we just get more possessions. Things can pan out differently. Secondly, the offensive play calling is awful. Too many screens. We have abandoned the run game. We were the best rushing team last year. We've abandoned it. I don't, and I feel like, and three, I'll say Justin Fields too. Again, I'm going to defend him. I think right now they should treat him like a one read quarterback. I think he's gun shy. I think the play calling's bad. I think he's got fucking PTSD from playing on the Bears for the last 3 years and getting killed. There's obviously, like I said, we've seen the viral pictures of the wide open guy about it, and I think that's a little bullshit too because you could go to Burrow's game, Mahomes' game, Jalen Hurts, everybody's game, and you could pull up that same screenshot of them in the red zone, somebody wide open, and they missed it. He should, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he shouldn't see these things or he shouldn't play better, but I think that's a little unfair. Even the best of the best miss wide open guys, but there was throws to be made that he wasn't making. He was really indecisive in the pocket where like he didn't know if he was going to run, if he was going to pass. I feel like a similar thing happened to Trubisky, which was his downfall. I think the coaching staff or media, whoever, got in his head to like, no, you don't need to run anymore. And it's like the kid ran for what was it, 1,100 yards. Why are we abandoning that? I don't want him to see him get killed, and he doesn't need to rush for 100 yards a game, but he should be getting 50 a game. Um, and we should be boot. We're not running any boots. We don't block the boots well when they do get them, and it's like stop running the screen. Let's just run the ball. We don't need to get credit. We're good at that. Our team's good at that. We already proved that we can all get down and run the ball and take away some of the screens and turn them into read options for Justin. And I like that was a terrible interception at the end of the game. And
Well,
the
that's what
only
happens when you run the same play 3 times in a row.
yeah, and the only argument I'll get behind where it's Justin Fields' fault if you're saying Justin Fields should have audibled it, but for him to throw the interception, he had to throw it. You can't throw it away. You can't take a sack. He has to throw the ball and pray that the running back gets it. If you want to say he should have checked out to a different play, I can get behind that complaint. But the throw is the throw. Like he has to throw it. He can't take a sack. That's game over too. The sack is the same as the interception. The game will be over. Um, if he throws it away, it's the same thing as safety. Game's over. So I think he had no other choice but to throw it. And it just like you said, they ran it 3 times in a row. Levante David already came out and said like they just not like yeah like they had ran it 3 out of the last like 4 plays or some shit, right? Like maybe
No,
even
they
back.
literally ran it three times in a row. It was the same exact play. The first 2 times they ran it got negated by penalty.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I remember it got negated by penalty, and then it's like, how does Justin know they're going to be running a twist and kind of really just like twist right into it, and on top of them kind of knowing you're going to run it? Like it was just again, I'm not. I will defend Justin just like I defended Mitch, just like I defended Jay Cutler. Obviously, need to be better. Maybe he isn't a superstar, and I can, you know what I mean, slowly start to get to that. But the talent's there. The play calling needs to be better. He needs to be better. But we just have to put him in the best situation now. We all right. He's not Mahomes, so and he's our guy. We got to put him in the best position. You won't go ask freaking Brian Jacobs to run sweeps and get to the edge, and you know what I mean. Like you're not going to ask Tyreek Hill to run fades and win jump balls in the corner of the end zone. Like we need to play to our players' strengths, and if we're going to win games.
What's frustrating to me is a lot of it does have to do with coaching. Even you take a look at something as small as Justin's footwork on his drop back. He's got a much slower drop back than he did his rookie season. That's because his entire life, his entire career, his rookie season and everything else like that, when he was in shotgun, he has his left foot back. Getsy wanted him to switch to his right. Now that he's switch, now that he has his right foot back, his drop back has gotten at least a second and a half slower, and that takes a lot of rhythm off of his ball. And I think that's fucking with him. It seems like he's being outcoached, overcoached. I mean, in terms
Yes,
of
I think that
okay,
hundred
they're
percent.
saying, you know, don't run, don't then it's don't throw, and Luke Getsy, I'm sorry, he's got to go.
Yeah, he's out of
He's
there. Yeah.
got to go. I don't care who the play caller is at that point in time, but now you're starting to get the, like I saw on Twitter today, and I even heard on ESPN radio a little bit earlier too. People are saying, "Oh, well, let's throw Bajan in. Let's throw Bajan in." Why?
Yes,
It's not
like
going to do anything.
yeah,
Like
yeah, and it's like Justin.
we're not going to win games.
He has shown improvement. His dropbacks better. He's making some of the quick passes there, and again, he's missing throws. I'm not going to take him out of the blame. Everybody could have played better, but we need to start like everyone's like, all right, he needs to be Mahomes. Like he's our guy. We're kind of stuck with him. Like, and again, even if we're the number one pick, um, we're just going to get Caleb Williams and have the same problems. If that's the scenario, it's like we'd still be better off trading the pick to get a bunch of stuff and trying to build a super team. Because I mean, if you throw Mahomes on the Bears right now, does he light it up? Like he might win a few games. You know what I mean? But
Third down, the third down defense is absolutely atrocious as
yes,
well. Like you were talking about, for somebody who is a defensive minded head coach to have Baker Mayfield throw for 325 and give up over 400 yards of offense. I mean, granted, that's the niche of the Tampa 2 is, you're giving up yards, 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 but you're holding them to field goals or you're creating turnovers. The problem with that is the Bears aren't doing either. They
yes,
are not creating turnovers and they're still giving up a lot of points. Also, who was the last head coach to make it anywhere, to be a good head coach or anything else like that? That's lost 12 games straight and to give up 25 points per game during that 12-game losing streak. No head coach in the history of the NFL has ever done as poorly of a job as Matt Eberflus has done with the Bears so far. And on top of that, it just he makes these every Monday after the game. Matt Eberflus jumps on Cap and J Hood morning show on ESPN 1000 every Monday at 8:30 after the game. They interviewed him this morning, and he was making excuses. He seemed, oh, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. He said that the screenplay at the 6-yard line was a good play. It was a good play call,
Yeah, I saw that.
but
Ridiculous.
the execution's got to get better. And it's like, no, dude, your offensive coordinator sucks. You suck. Your defensive coordinator sucks. You
And
just paid Yannick Ngakoue money and to be your number one pass rusher. He had 2 shots at Baker, couldn't
and
bring him
got
down.
fucking
Baker,
serious. Those were the game. That was the game. I mean, it's doom and gloom in Chicago, but we only lost by 10, and really like I said, he had to throw that ball because of the play call. It was really like a score game, and it's like those 2 sacks. Those like we cannot like our defense is not good enough for him to not make those plays. It wasn't fucking Nick Chubb back there who shrugged him off or freaking Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Then I might give you some grace. It was freaking Baker Mayfield. You have to sling him down if you get one fucking hand on him and twice. And one was like he turned it into like a 10-yard run for a first down, and the other one he got away and got a completion. And like again, the team like that's I don't know, it's culture, whatever, but like the defense played fairly well on first and second down. We gave up like 8 or 9 third and longs.
opposing teams have a perfect passer rating on third down against the Bears. You know how embarrassing that is? As a
As a
defensive
defensive coach.
minded head coach, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be
Yes.
ashamed. And you know what? A lot of this too, and I can't even really say this is on Ryan Poles completely. It's not on Ryan Poles completely. However, during the head coaching search, we had talked about hiring a defensive minded head coach anyway. It was between Eberflus, Dan Quinn, and somebody else, Brian Daboll. I don't even think Brian Daboll was on the list because it was the committee. Remember the
Yeah.
committee of people. It was McCaskey. It was Bill Polian, who has
Bill
absolutely
Polian.
nothing to do with the Chicago Bears. It was Soup Campbell. They said, okay, here's our list of coaches. Ryan Poles. Then they hire Ryan Poles. They tell Ryan Poles, okay, this is your list of coaches. This is who we like in terms of finalists. And then after that, they go ahead and they hire a president. So the way this organization does shit is so fucked up. They draft a quarterback first round. The very next year, they get rid of the GM and the coach that drafted that quarterback. They bring in a GM. They don't even hire a president first. They bring in a GM who then was given a short list of coaches to hire. So then they hire a coach. After all that, they hire a president. So who is holding who accountable, and how long is this going to take before it fixes itself? Because is Kevin Warren going to sit there and make decisions? Is he going to sit there and tell Ryan Poles, hey, you need to fix this and you need to fix this quick, fast, and in a hurry? Does Ryan Poles tell Matt Eberflus, hey, if this shit looks like this again the next 2 weeks, because you got Kansas City coming up, and I forget who week 4 is, and we're probably looking at 0-4, but does Ryan Poles tell Matt Eberflus, hey, if this shit doesn't improve in the next 2 weeks, the Getsy and Williams are going to be gone, possibly you. Like who's doing what, and what is this hierarchy? Because this shit needs to start going down right now. There needs to be an
You made a
example
good point.
set
I didn't think
that in
about
a
it like that
precedent.
of the
Yeah,
hierarchy. And the McCaskies are like, we're out of football. We don't even deal with any of the
yeah,
football stuff.
because
So it's this weird thing.
they have to set that precedent, and
And
when
I'll
does it
disagree with
start, and
you.
who's going to do it?
I'm putting a lot of this on polls. I was trying to get behind his vision. I like the trade, but I'm second guessing a lot of his picks now. Like as I'm watching this Monday night game and Pickens is going off, he's sitting there in the second round. I think we picked 2 guys before we could have got him. Um, Watching Jalen Carter play makes and watching our defense and lack of pass rush and lack of interior pressure, it's like I think we should have took Jalen Carter. I mean, I know we did an episode and I wasn't too keen on it, but now looking back, like I just feel like he hasn't been making the good plays. He's been making these like, oh, like I'm really smart. look who I can pick kind of picks.
Well,
Like,
you
oh,
could criticize a lot of that because really, realistically, if you take a look at it, Jalen Johnson, you know who the next pick was after Jalen Johnson?
who?
Trayvon Diggs.
Well, Jalen Johnson was paced though, wasn't he? Wasn't that before polls?
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
saying that just in terms of Dre, you can do that with pretty much any GM. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
You can
not saying
nitpick and
after.
everything
I'm
else like
just
that.
saying like we not. It's not Jalen Carter got picked after we traded out, knowing like that's who they're going to pick because we're like, oh, we don't even want him.
Yeah, they picked up an extra fourth that they turned into Roshan Johnson. But like you said, who knows? And they're two defensive tackles that he drafted. Not one single quarterback pressure all year so far for
That's what I'm
either of those
saying.
two guys.
Yeah.
And they have a 0% pass rush win rate. Both of them, 0 through 2 weeks. That's not good.
Darnell Wright's been okay though. I don't want to. He's been not too bad. I mean, he's you know what I mean. He's a
No.
rookie though too.
Yeah, right tackles, which is weird because you would think it'd be
Braxton
rookie left
Jones
tackles.
has taken a step back. It feels like these first 2 weeks.
It's the penalties. It's the
Yes.
penalties. And it's like he's gotten slower off the ball, but the penalties are killing Braxton
Yes.
Jones. And
Yes.
that's another thing. Now that you look at it, Tevin Jenkins can't stay healthy. You probably have one anchor on that offensive line, and that is Darnell Wright because you just drafted him 10th overall in the first round of this year. So you have one anchor on that offensive line. Everybody else, you're probably looking at an upgrade, and this includes Nate Davis, who had a decent week one. He did. I mean, he was gassed after like the first series of the game because he didn't practice. And now that we know more about what's going on, personal reasons, stuff like that, it was never on any of our business. Yeah, we criticized because we didn't know what was going on. But things like that happen. I understand. But he was completely gassed, completely out of football shape. He didn't have a bad week one, but is he worth the $30 million that we spent on him? Probably not. And that we have no center. We passed on John Michael Schmaltz, who you and I both loved coming into the draft in the second round. Granted, we got Tyreek Stevenson or whatever, but that doesn't mean anything. John Michael Schmaltz this past week, 100% pass protection win rate. He hasn't allowed a pressure all year. He hasn't allowed a sack all year. We needed a center, and the center was there for the taking. Brian Poles talked about how much he wanted to build the trenches and build this offensive line. He had the opportunity to take what I thought was the best interior offensive lineman in the draft,
I agree.
and completely passed. And the left guard, Tevin Jenkins, like I said, can't stay healthy. Braxton Jones is a question mark. He had a pretty decent rookie season, but again, he's a fifth round rookie.
Yeah,
We
he's a
didn't
middle
really
of the pack.
expect much of him to begin with, but
I
it's the
thought,
penalties.
yeah, I thought he was going to take a step forward. I would say just, you know what I mean? I guess he's reminding us all why he are. And again, we're not playing to our team's strength to get, like I said, why have we stopped running the ball? Getsy's like, I think Getsy, even Fields, the coaching staff, it's in their head that they all want to prove that Justin's an MVP. And I think he is. I think he's got it in him, but not as a, you know what I mean, 52 passing touchdown, go for the record type of guy. I think they need to go back to the read options. They got to practice, they got to block the boots better, and they got to do, you know what I mean, shorten the field up. And once they get the running game going, the quick passing game will open right up. And DJ Moore has shown that he can get open. He's going to get there. He's been running open. Um, DJ Moore is a good teammate too. Hopefully, they're all helping him too. And like I said,
Well, I'll
the
tell you
play
what,
call's got
week
to be
one,
better.
when they were showing that sideline picture, DJ Moore looked dejected and he kind of looked around like, fuck, why did they do this to me? Why did Carolina do this to me? That's what he looked like. The body language on the entire team was horrible.
Yes, it was
And
bad. That's
it,
coaching though.
oh,
They came out,
100%.
the
You
Packers
just
came
talked
out, they
about
were
culture.
fired up. And I know what they were saying in the locker room. We're the fucking Packers. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers is there. We always kick the Bears' ass. And you guys are gonna go out there and do it again. And they did it. And it's like this was a perfect time for Eberflus and all them polls and all of them to say, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre's fucking gone. It's our time. And they come out there and fucking play like that, and they didn't. And it wasn't just Justin Fields; it was everybody. Everybody on every level was getting their ass kicked. And even though, and it's like the Packers is culture. That's what they beat us on. Like we're the oldest, and it's just like their culture is so much better. Their front office is better. Their ownership's better from the top all the way down. They do shit the right way. They draft good players. They build them into good players. Like look at Jordan Love. Maybe he's not Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he's not Brett Favre, but kids looks like he can play another 10 years in the NFL, be just fine. Like and the Packers are going to be just fine. They're not going to be a horrible organization because of him. And it's like we need to take notes. Like I said, I wasn't even. You brought up an amazing point. I didn't even think about it. It's like how ass backwards the hiring process has been. Um, and I just think it was stupid to hire a defensive coach for the situation we were in. I know teams usually go offense, defense, but we had a young quarterback. We needed a young offensive guy to build with Justin, or we needed like a vet coach who was going to get all the
You
best guys.
had you had Jim Caldwell in that building,
I like Jim Caldwell. Yeah, that
one
would
of
have
the
been a great
most
one.
underrated coaches there is out there. He had a detailed plan, written, signed, sealed, delivered, everything else like that about what he wanted to do in terms of the development of Justin Fields. They let him walk out of the building. That should fucking tell you exactly where what this team, president and at that time it was McCaskey, but that should tell you right there that these guys are fucking idiots. And we've been
I think now looking back again, I think it was Poles not wanting to hire a coach that might have more like clout than him. You know what I mean? He didn't want to hire Jim Caldwell, who's got some skin in the game, or honestly, I really wanted Doug Peterson. I think he would have been fucking great for us. And I can't believe, like I said, I think the Jags went out and got him right away.
I don't even think they brought him in for an interview.
I know. I think the Jags got him like instantly. But what I'm saying is like they
Yeah.
should have been on that, and they should have known. Like the Jags knew to get with Trevor, they needed to get somebody like Doug Peterson, and it's like again, like you made an amazing point that these guys don't know what they're doing all the way to the top, down to the bottom. And as a fan, like I said, I always side with our quarterback. I'm a Cutler apologist. Trubisky, I rolled with them till the day we traded him, and I don't think it's fair to blame Justin. I'm not saying that he can't be better, but it's like fine, he's not a Hall of Famer. I can admit that. Can we move on? We still have to win football games, like, and he's our guy, and he does have talent. He's not Nate Peterman. Peterman's like
No,
he
he's
just
not a
rushed for
bum.
he just rushed for 1,200 yards. We know he's got an arm. You guys need to scheme this shit up better. You guys get paid a lot of money too, and it's fine. Like I said, we realize he's not a superhero. Maybe he never will be, but he's got some talent, and they need to coach him up. That's what we pay those guys to do.
With the two games the way it's been so far, I do not see right now if it continues to be the way that it is, there is not a single win on this schedule
I don't
if
think
they
so.
continue to play as poorly as they have the last 2 weeks because it's just been bad. Kevin Warren, no shot that he hears this, but I'm sure he hears everybody else talking about it. That's a Bears fan. You need to set a precedent. You are the president of the Chicago Bears. Now is the time for you to start pushing your weight. And you say you want to deliver a winner to, Chicago. You want to make the Chicago Bears a Super Bowl perennial Super Bowl contender, yada yada yada. Now is the time to put your foot down and start making some big boy moves. If you
Yeah,
do not like the product that is being put out on the field as president, then it is your job as president to start making the proper fucking changes. And if that means that you got to fire a coach halfway through the season because the Bears have never done that before, they're not that kind of team. They always wait to handle their business in the offseason. Well, guess what? Kevin Warren, it's a new age in Chicago. That's what you were saying when you were first
yeah,
brought in here, was that it's a dawn of a new era. Things are changing. If it continues, if this product continues to end up on the field the way that it is now, if we're 1-6 heading into week 8, if Matt Eberflus still has his job, there's a fucking problem
yeah.
and it needs to be fixed. And that is on Kevin Warren, the president. It's on nobody else. You have to start putting your foot down and making that hierarchy and changes the way that things need to be done. I don't care what it takes. It
Yeah,
needs to be done. What we're seeing is pathetic. Us as fans, we don't deserve it. This is an ass backwards franchise. It has been for the last 70 years. Things need to change.
big time, big time. And I guess that's a good rant to close it on. Said this little post game, we didn't go into too many X and O's. There's really not much to say. You all watch the game, and we're not going to pretend like we're experts, but just like I said, the vibes are down all over the city. We don't know who to blame. Justin's bearing a lot of it. That's just the cross that the quarterback will have to bear. That's a part of why you get paid the big bucks. Um, but we need to fix this all around. The injuries definitely don't help. We didn't even get to that. I mean, Gordon was out. That he surely would have helped. Brisker got hurt. He was cramping up, and I guess that's what I mean. It's sickness, Eddie
It was
Jackson got hurt.
dehydration.
But Eddie Jackson, I mean, I'm not fully on the Dan Hampton train calling out Eddie Jackson, but he needs to play better too as our veteran, as a guy who's got a lot of talent, and you know what I mean. He's played at a high level. Um, but like I said, the Chiefs. I guess one saving grace is the Chiefs hasn't looked that good, so maybe
It doesn't
maybe they don't
matter.
beat us too bad. Um, I just think so. For me to close it, I was like, we need to get back to running the ball. Um, I'll get behind the Justin. I guess Justin's not going to be a multiple-time MVP. I can come to that realization, but I think he's a pretty good football player, and I think they're not putting him in the best position to win, just like the Bears have done our entire life with quarterbacks. Maybe like there's been like 2 seasons where I felt like they like did right by Cutler. But besides that, I don't think our team. It's always been defense first, and our defense has sucked now. So it's like, why are we not doing that for the quarterback?
Yeah, I spent a whole bunch of money on the defense, and the defense still plays like shit because the system is outdated and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um,
No
and
blitzing on third down. We're just sitting
it,
back in shell, and they're just like dropping back. Baker Mayfield. It's like these are
soft cover
easy.
two.
Yes, easy catches, and you know what I mean. These are Mike Evans is in reality a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and it's like Chris Godwin's a fucking multiple time Pro Bowler. It's like that's fucking and Baker. You know what I mean? Again, I can call him a journeyman or whatever you want. The kid was a first round overall pick. He's been in the playoffs. He's won a game. He's played a lot of football. It's like we need honestly, like you said, I think Kevin Warren should send it down the pipeline, fire Alan Williams, fire Luke Getsy, or relieve them of their duties, give the play calling to somebody else, and just let them all know that you're all going to be fired. You
Put
know,
him on
like you
notice.
said, if it comes week 7 or 8 and we're 1-6 or 2-5 and we look like shit, you're all fucking fired. And like I said, if I had to blame one person right now, I'm just feeling like Poles. Like I said, I love the Bears, so I like to be optimistic. If you guys have been watching us for these 40 episodes, you've probably seen me a rainbow of emotions on these decisions. But I usually try and get behind our guy and their vision, but I'm not seeing it anymore for Poles. Eberflus was a terrible pick. Um, Getsy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. The lineman he went out and signed, Nate Davis, is nothing. Like the money we spent was on nothing. But Andrew Billings on the D, is he even playing? Like
Yeah,
we could have.
Andrew Billings actually
He did
he
good this
showed up.
week. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the rookies, the rookie DTs, nothing. Tyreek Stevenson's okay, gets a lot of penalties. He getting beat. Like I said, I think he's going to be a player. I like the pick. I mean, I like Brisker. I like Kyler Gordon. I just think like he reached on a few of these guys. There were some elite players that fell that I don't know why. Like I said, Pickens comes to my mind. I don't know why we didn't pick him. We needed a wide receiver. Um, Jalen Carter now, like I said, I like Darnell Wright. I've been really watching him play. Week 1, he had a few really bad missed blocks, but he played fairly well. I think both weeks he's played fairly well, but I just think we should have taken Jalen Carter looking back now, and then we could have took the best tackle with our next pick or John Schmaltz with our. I don't know, but I just think we needed somebody like Jalen Carter now.
Well, I mean, that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to
Yes,
this video.
yeah, episode
Definitely,
40
definitely, definitely. Our
and
next episode will probably just do, going
breakdown of
into
what
the
with the
game. You know
Chiefs
what I'm
game.
saying? Going into the game, we'll probably do it, Thursday or Friday night. We'll preview the game a little bit. We'll go back to doing some of our,
Picks and
our
stuff.
weekend picks and stuff like that. So I was 12-4 week 1 money line. This week I didn't do so good. This week, yeah, this week I was about 8-8.
That's about what I was, but I showed you that prop bet for DJ Moore that
Yeah,
panned out well. But that's about it. I think
I bet you got nervous in that second half though with that prop bet.
yeah. Well, no, I kind of was, but then I realized like we were losing. I'm like, there's no way he's not gonna. You know what I mean? They're not gonna throw us at least 3 more times. We're losing, and then reality, we're supposed to go on. We're about to go on a 95-yard touchdown drive. You know what I mean? Drive for a touchdown. But all right, see us on Friday, guys. I'll see you soon, buddy. Safe
Yes, sir.
travels.